a little something about this rivalry. Jimmy Jackson joins me. Hello, everyone. Tim Brando. What can we expect tonight from two teams coming off opening wins in this conference that were very impressive?
If you're Chris Holtman and the Buckeyes, you're excited about the fact 13 turnovers, only 9 points off that turnover. Off those turnovers, can they continue that trend? And kind of like what Donnie Marshall said in the studio, Michigan is all about shooting the three-point line. If they can shoot it with accuracy, they'll spread the court and have the ability to penetrate and get to the basket.
Michigan would like to cause some mayhem defensively, and to do that, they're going to hope that Matthews and company, plus Moritz Wagner, can get the job done at that forward position. He's a tough task in terms of guarding. The Buckeyes are without a true point guard. That does mean that Jayshawn Tate will be at the point, but he'll need help, and he'll get help.
He'll get help. C.J. Jackson are coming off the bench, but again, the poise in which he played coming off the bench, I think really benefited not only himself, but the Buckeyes.
The opening tip is controlled to Michigan. Our officials for tonight's game, outstanding crew. Larry Scarato, Mike Eads, and Ted Valentine. Wagner down on the low block. He's got both an inside and outside game. Matthews for three. A little off balance that time. It's retrieved by Bates-Diop.
Tim, you always have to pay attention against this Michigan team because it's perpetual movement across the court. If you, for 1 second, take your eye off your man, could go back door. It's an open three-point shot. It's a good defensive possession that time by the Buckeyes.
Jallow lost his dribble there. Taken away. Duncan Robinson to Brooks. And that's typical of Ohio State when they have issues. Too many turns.
Well, it's not just the turnover. A dead ball turnover when it goes out of bounds. Now the opponent doesn't have a chance to get out in transition. That time the turnover now escalates into a fast break opportunity. Easy 2 point for Michigan.
The old live ball turnover right off the shoot for Ohio State. Bates-Diop is trying to get the ball and does. I'll wait to see if there's a double. And there it is. Once he put it on the hardwood. Baseline drive. That one was kicked away. Kickball. John Beilein. What a remarkable job he's done in that incredible run. The Hollywood script wouldn't have been any better than the one they made to the Big Ten tournament. 4 games in 4 days, and they achieved greatness to make that March in the month of March a season ago.
You know, I'm going to go back to when they made their championship run, when they had to play against Syracuse, how he just kind of dismantled that 2-3 zone, which a lot of teams, as you know, Tim, can't do that.
Strong move to the hoop that time by Jayshawn Tate, and the senior from Pickerington, Ohio, ties the game at 2.
And Jayshawn is so tough to stop, especially with those broad shoulders, athletic, maybe undersized, but it's hard. Allows him to compete at a high level.
Joel Robinson with that backdoor cut. It was well defended by Ohio State. Good move there to Wagner, and he gets the roll. Down. That's really quick by Matthews. He can get to the rim in a heartbeat. Nice defensive work there by Ohio State. Keita Bates-Diop. There he is trying to get it done. He forced that one out, didn't he? I mean, he took it right to Robinson's chest.
But when Bates-Diop is aggressive, he puts so much pressure on the defense. And even if he doesn't shoot 10, he attracts so much attention. Now he can make a pass and get his teammates an open basket. That's why I love when he really gets determined to play aggressive and look to score.
Wagner stripped by Wesson. He's got great hands. Big fella really does have some finesse offensively with those big mitts of his. Now he comes out to the three-point line.
Yeah, but he also has excellent footwork inside.
Not there this time. In traffic, well defended. Some good defensive help there. With the clock winding down, a great drive to the rim. That's what you want to see out of Jayshawn Tate, and he'll get to the free throw line.
Back to the drive. The threat of getting beat from the three-point line, Doc is right there. You see, he just reaches with his hands. He doesn't get his body in front of him because he's afraid or he's conscious of that. But how about the backdoor play right here between the two upperclassmen? Diop to cutting Jayshawn Tate.
Shallow back on the floor. And the foul is spotted on that dribble drive by Keita Bates-Diop.
Yeah, and Duncan Robinson can't really stay with Diop, but again, the move was made available because the ball came from the opposite side of the court. He received it, then he was able to attack against a shifting defense.
Tate gets it into the lane. Nice little jump hook, but he couldn't get it to go. Pretty good location there that time. John Beilein's teams always have multiple parts, guys that know their roles, and they can play really all over the floor. Total floor games these guys have. Ability to drive, draw, kick, and get easy shots like that.
But let's give credit to the passing, because the passing right now from Michigan, whether it's a bounce pass, that pass we just saw to Wagner right there, it's on point, on time, on target. So now as a player, I just have to catch and finish, whether it's a jump shot or, like you saw the dunk right there in the lane.
Well, you said a moment ago that Michigan was ahead by 10 and it felt like more than that. Well, now it is a lot more than that. It's 17. Here they come away with another one. Look at Simmons get down the floor. Jackson disrupted that. Knocked it away. It'll be underneath the basket. Michigan ball.
Let's keep it real. You're going to have more chances to score the basketball when you're not turning it over.
Wolverines have scored on 7 straight trips and have thoroughly taken the jugular of Ohio State. Taking it right to them here in the last 5-minute sequence. Bates-Diop. Again, under duress, but he gets it to go over Robinson. I mean, that was well defended.
You see Simmons in the game. You're talking about a 3-guard.
Yeah, it's almost unfair when he gets 3 guards out there. You know, with the style of play he employs, very tough. Timeout. Very special season again in West Lafayette.
And don't forget about Minnesota, but that Wisconsin team, not since 96, 97 have you had 2 freshmen in the starting lineup. So this is something totally different for the Badger team early on.
Well, they could not pressure Ohio State's guards the way Michigan's can, and you're seeing an illustration of that tonight. One of the reasons Ohio State had control of things in that game on Saturday that some may have seen on Fox. And it's nice.
Well, you're talking about the growth. Now he seems more under control, more confident, understand where he needs to be on the court.
Well, Bates-Diop got that one to go. That might be a bucket plus the foul. This could be like a 4 or 5 point play here at just the time Ohio State needed it. Simmons gets the foul. The ball was in the air at the time. Let's see if they credit it or they don't.
Yeah,
they did.
Yep.
So, if they make both shots here, this could be a very productive trip.
Well, you take a look right from this angle right there. I think the hole right there on Simmons.
Yep.
Now, here's the thing. You get a chance for a 4-point play, knock it in. But if you don't complement that with a defensive stop, then it's just a 4-point play that cut into a lead briefly.
So the shot did count for Bates-Diop, and now Wesson, who was held, has a chance to make it a 5-point trip. 1-1. His dad, Keith, played for Ohio State from '83 to '87. And obviously his brother Andre, a sophomore on this team. Named Ohio's Mr. Basketball and the Ohio Gatorade Player of the Year as a senior. Getting Ohio kids to play at Ohio State is a premium.
There's a lot of talent in this state, and some have gotten away over the past few years.
Bakich almost was able to come away with a turnover there.
And the thing about it is you're not going to be able to get them all. But you have to have a pipeline of some that maintain a homestead here in the state, because that just, from a recruiting perspective, you got to take care of your own state.
Especially in a state where if you do, you're going to be really, really good. As you know, as much as anyone. That one does not fall from deep. for Eli Brooks. Here comes Dockage the other way. Tate! Oh! Hammer time! Tate back! Hello! How do you do? Timeout, Michigan. That gave the home folks something to stand up about.
My goodness, Jason Tate taking the elevator up to the 5th floor. The pick, and you know what? The lane was wide open for Rothman and the rest of his teammates. So let's see if Ohio State makes the adjustment of forcing Michigan out a little bit more, but also taking away that dribble drive and being there when the ball is received by a Michigan player to take away the three-point shot.
Buckeyes did close the first half on a 7-love run, but the thing that jumps out at you is 11 Michigan players have played, 8 guys have scored, 9 have a rebound, 6 have an assist, and 6 have a try.
Is that all? Is that it?
That's pretty efficient.
Well, also, how about 17 field goals off 11 assists?
Yeah. How about that? That was a tough pass, almost too risky, and almost led to a turnover. But Wagner is almost like a stretch 5 when he's out there. Shot clock under 3. Off to a Rockman. Off the front rim. Bates-Diop takes it out of there. Keita trying to find an avenue and can't. Dumps it down to Wesson on the low block. Nice spin move there. And we're going to get a foul as an end result. Wagner was trying his best. Wagner with the high pick tries to roll down, but a quick double. Good show that time by Tate. Much better recognition by the Buckeyes defensively in that sequence.
Well, also on the previous play was more communication and kind of beat the Michigan players to the spot. That time, not only did Tate beat to the spot, but Diop was able to deflect the basketball. Now Michigan has to take it out on the side and reset their offense.
Just a little more stress in this offensive sequence for the Wolverines. They've been making these far too easily in this game, and that's just an incidental late bump by Wesson. Unfortunate, really, playing that far away from the basket with 3 on the clock to pick up that foul.
It was unfortunate, but because Duncan Robinson is a three-point shooter, that time Wesson didn't stay disciplined. The pump fake got him in the air, hence off balance. That caused the trip. So the lack of discipline that time by Wesson on the pump fake, resulted into that foul.
Right away, Teske gets out of the game. Wagner comes back in. It's so interchangeable, these parts for Michigan. No turns in the last 11 and a half minutes of action for the Wolverines. Knocked away by Bates-Diop. And there's Tate again.
You'd think that the message was heard loud and clear by the Buckeyes in regards to defensive intensity. I think they got the message.
Chris may look like an unassuming, soft-spoken coach.
No.
But let me tell you, he gets in the locker room, he will fire him up, no doubt about it. Bates-Diop, baseline extended, right over Robinson. Timeout, Michigan. They're on their feet in Columbus.
Tim, my man, whatever it was, the message was heard loud and clear. The hustle, the defensive intensity, and then the payoff for Jason Tate.
Tate. Take it again.
My man.
Really good team there in the Big East.
Ultimate sign of respect right there.
Let's see if Ohio State's run was a mini run to close out the half. Now a major run as we connect the second half. 12-0 this spurt if it can continue through this timeout. C.J. Jackson trying to negotiate. And Williams dumps it down. And gets it back with a floater. And they're getting into it now. 43-37. Just over 3 minutes gone in the second half. Duncan Robinson runs the curl about as well as any. He was well defended that time by Bates-Diop. Wagner not there. Bates-Diop with another rebound. This could be a 16-love run if they can connect with 2 on this particular offensive sequence.
4 straight stops for the Buckeyes coming out of halftime.
Oh, the duck under. Wesson. 43-39. It's down to 4.
And if you're Coach Beilein, you understand that the home team is going to make a run, but how do you respond is the question and the answer that we're waiting to get.
A quick one by 55 gets the job done. Eli Brooks stops it, the freshman. That ended a 16-0 run. Michigan had been up by 20.
I guess he answered my question.
Yep. Yeah. Eli said, I've got you here. Tate, a wraparound off the window pane.
We're taking a page out of Michigan's book. That time, Jayshon caught the ball on the move, curled into the lane. That time, the defense couldn't recover.
Guys are 5 for 5 this half offensively. And number 55, Brooks, has the only bucket for Michigan on this end of the floor in the half. Well, it was just one of those situations where Cam Williams made his move, and as he did, he had just a completely different look from Ohio State defensively.
Well, I think it's in a little context, though, Tim. I mean, you said this, even though the game was early on Saturday, a lot of the emotion in that game. Come back, quick turnaround, you got to get to practice. So a little lag, it's a tough shot right there. But you see the energy is here right now, and the crowd is into it.
No doubt about it. And so is Tate. Tate again and again and again. A trifecta Tate. Robinson, the foul, his second.
It's amazing what energy and effort does for you. It energizes not only yourself, the crowd gets into it. Guys are playing harder. Now this is just one-on-one in transition. Jayshon Tate is left-handed, but he's driving right.
How about that reaction, huh?
Come on.
How about that was nice. I like that. Even he had to shake his head. Doesn't get the old-fashioned three-point play, so it remains a Michigan lead. Buckeyes started 6 of 18. They are 11 of 12 since. Think about that from the floor. 11 of their last 12.
And how about just one turnover?
Matthews rejected by Bates-Diop. Robinson. Pulled down off the deck by Wesson. They shoot for the lead right here. This building will come unplugged if they score. Bates-Diop. Taken down by Xavier Simmons, and there you see the move. Simpson back on the floor, number 3 for Michigan.
I would love to saw in that last possession. Diop really attacked Duncan Robinson, not settle for a fadeaway.
Let's see if Simpson tries to take the bigger man down low to the rim. Nothing doing. It goes Wagner. Way too much dribbling there.
That was just outstanding help that time by Andre Wesson.
For the lead. High offensive rebound taken there. Kyle Young with a big offensive rebound. Poor pass that time. He anticipated and turned it over. Abdur Rahman right back at you. Everything but a finish. And Kyle Young brings it down.
But what we see the difference too, transition defense, even on that turnover, you still had 2 or 3 Buckeyes in the paint. That made the degree of difficulty for Rahman even tougher to be able to finish, unlike the first half.
Buckeyes 11 of their last 13 from the floor. Michigan is 1 of 12 this half. 1 of 12. And off the ball, we've got a foul.
Well, it's all about making your opponent uncomfortable. Everything was easy for Michigan in the first half. The aggressive nature, the defense, yes, they've gotten some shots, but they've also felt the pressure of the Buckeyes in the second half.
A lot of times, when you have this wave coming at you, and Ohio State's playing far fewer players than Michigan, but you wonder sometimes, too, all the different combinations. And listen, at the end of the year, John Beilein will still be playing 9 guys. I mean, that's just the way he likes to coach. But they've used 11 guys through the course of this game. And while those interchangeable parts were very effective early, when this pressure came from Ohio State, Michigan to this point still hasn't responded.
Well, here's the thing. I thought Ohio State also played small in the first half.
They did.
You're utilizing their length, especially in the defensive end, to disrupt what Michigan wants to do.
Bates-Diop, it's not there, but there's a foul. Dockich, by the way, is checked back into the game. Andrew Dockich, 3rd foul on Duncan Robinson. Michigan stays with Xavier Simpson in the backcourt, the sophomore, number 3, along with Robinson. Heskey is checked into the game for Wolverines.
Well, that could be a big foul because Duncan Robinson does so many things well, in particular spread the court.
Yeah.
So now if you can go back within the offense without forcing it to maybe pick up that 4th foul. Now you take a shooter off the court, length off the court, advantage Ohio State. And Coach Beilein is trusting that Duncan Robinson plays smartly not to pick up that 4th foul.
First lead of the game tonight after those free throws, after being down 20 on a 24-3 run now. This Ohio State Buckeyes team. You'd think that Matthews would like to take the game over at this stage. Let's see. Again, almost turned it over. A lot of dribbling now, not as much passing. Matthews time, no doubt about it. He was going to take it in, but that's an offensive foul. He forced that. You knew he was going to take the shot eventually there, didn't you?
Well, excellent use of the baseline that time by Young to cut it out. But during the run, we saw that it's the all-out hustle by Ohio State on the defensive end, and that's where it starts. You want to get a run, you need to shut your opponent down consistently, and then take advantage on the offensive end. Don't force it. Do what your opponent did to you, which was get the ball to the basket, force you back on your heels, and then make you pay.
Dockich now operating at the point, which means Jallo can play off the ball. Tate may get better looks as a result, too. Good pass inside. Diop. Boy, Bates-Diop using the glass effectively, the lead up to 3.
And how about exploiting the mismatch? That time Rockman on a taller, longer, more athletic Bates-Diop inside.
I think that time there was a tie-up inside off the ball. Musa Jallo will pick up the foul, the freshman from Bloomington. But Holtman's team has taken control here in the second half. During this run for Ohio State has been out of sight, one of only 2 double-double guys in the Big Ten.
The 6'7" redshirt junior kind of expanding his game, using everything, whether that's off the catch with the 3-point shot, using his length inside, posting up. I tell you, Tim, when he's aggressive, it's a different Ohio State team because he puts so much stress on the defense that you have to figure out where he's at, that he opens up other opportunities for his teammates.
You see, along with Jordan Murphy, who is just an incredible talent for Minnesota. Keita Bates-Diop has 6 double-doubles this season.
And you know what? And they still wanted him to play more aggressive.
Yeah.
You have to tell me twice. At all.
Nice work on the boards that time. Heskey doing the job on the offensive glass, something that Michigan has not had much of. It's unending. Those were his first points. 11 points in the game for him, his first here in the second half. Diop, that can't get it to go, and it's taken away by Simpson again.
And how about Michigan? Beilein switching up his own defense on that possession, kind of threw Ohio State off guard a little bit offensively.
Was that shot by Bates-Diop a little quick for you? Misses, gets a rebound here.
And that's a basket I think Wagner has to finish. He was deep inside because he was looking for a little bit more contact.
It's kind of settling into a grinder now, isn't it? Now that the game is tied.
Well, this one a premium on decision-making, shot selection comes into play for both teams.
Quick double. He noticed it, got it to Wesson. Loose ball. Jackson can't get it to go, and I think he hurt himself. Down there at the bottom is Wesson as they got tangled up down on the low block.
Well, I think that's an example of Wesson getting more familiar with his new body.
Yeah.
Being able to catch, gather, under control, and then explode and finish. And that's something that will come the more and more he gets comfortable.
You know, the thing you notice about him, he's lost the 40 pounds. And a lot of times you lose some of your energy. You lose some of your fatigue can set in. And I think massaging minutes still probably important for Chris Holtmann with the young man.
One dribble, pull up, bang. Ohio State tied the score.
Lost start the in-between game. That ball was deflected away by C.J. Xavier Simpson and Matthews in the backcourt. Matthews have been very quiet since the early going. Wagner feeds Simpson, who's cutting, lost it to Kyle Young. C.J. Jackson end-to-end, and a little out of control, is going to get bailed out by the
score, or you have to find your teammates out of that position.
This kid was a junior college second-team All-America, Eastern Florida State. C.J. Williams, the lead is 1 with 2:54 and counting. Wondering when Matthews might break out, or Robinson. Both have quality all-floor games. Robinson can't get it to go. Bates-Diop with the rebound. You surprised Matthews hasn't looked for his shot more?
I am.
For Michigan?
I think he was a little tentative. He got an offensive foul one time. He kind of forced up a tough shot, but he has to stay with it. He has the ability to take over the game. And his teammates trust him as well.
Well, they got Dockich back into the game, and against this zone, and really at the key stage of the game, having a pure point out there, even if he's limited and doesn't look for his shot, as John Beeline has documented for us tonight, he can help you in these situations. That's Abdur Rahman who picked up the foul, his third.
And this may not show up in the stat sheet, but that time Dockich on the same side as Bates-Diop maintained his spacing, allowed the mismatch to take place with Diop and Rahman, and then able to lob it over the top to create the foul.
You know, Chris Holtmann said to us today, listen, we're going to be a team that, we've only got 2 guys that are proven Big Ten players. We're going to have different lineups all the time. Keep an eye on who he has confidence in for this stretch run for Ohio State on the floor with under 2 left.
Well, you can also say the same thing about Coach Beeline.
Absolutely. Yep. The lead is 3. See if Matthews will call his own number here. Simpson will try to create. Abdur Rahman, that was a good ball fake. Not there. And that foul will go against Michigan. Wagner. Real tough foul.
I mean, what a look by Rahman right here, not able to knock it in, and Wagner just sandwiched it between 3 Buckeyes, but I think it was the elbow, the right elbow in the back, the extension.
Yeah, it was a good call. He was just in a bad spot.
He was.
That's 4 on Moritz Wagner. That makes it a 2-possession game with 1:46 to play.
Yeah, but as well as this Michigan team can score.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, you're in a 2-possession game. You have to stay cognizant to their spacing and force them to continue to take tough shots, because they can knock down, as we saw, shots from the perimeter behind the 3.
Well, Matthews really not looking to score here. Now he does. Now he takes it inside, gives it up to Robinson. Off the backhand, Matthews the rebound. Simpson. He passed up a 3. Sometimes early in the shot clock you have a better look. He turned it over. Great defensive sequence for Ohio State. A minute left. Buckeyes have it and a 5-point lead. 8 turnovers in the game for Michigan, and 6 of them have come in this half. Shot clock winding down. Jackson Wagner the rebound. Still time for the Wolverines. Matthews all the way to the rack. He's rejected by Bates-Diop. Matthews gives himself up. Listen to this crowd.
We always talk about your veterans stepping up on the offensive end. How about on the defensive end? A quicker, shorter Xavier Simpson, no problem for Jayshawn Tate. And then Keita Bates-Diop using his length against Matthews, Charles Matthews. Excellent decision, I thought. You talk about why Matthews couldn't get a shot. Keep in mind, Diop stepped up to the challenge. He used his length to force Matthews to be uncomfortable. And when he did get by him a little bit, Diop was able to recover.
Buckeyes have really grown up in this second half, and it really all began when Jayshawn Tate had that big hammer dunk to close it to 13. Yes. Ohio State stayed on a run all the way through the first 6 minutes of the second half. Time winding down. There's Matthews. Not tentative there with 15.7. He gets the slam to make it a 5-point game. 26-3 run. Think about this. Bridging the first and second half. And now, just before that hoop, the slam by Matthews.
Well, you always talk about a dunk is only 2 points. Well, that means more than 2 points when you do that at a critical stage of the game where you didn't have momentum. Okay? Now, keep in mind, the concentration was there on the defensive end. More importantly, Ohio State took care of the basketball. Only 2 turnovers in the second half. Whereas before in the first half, they had a few live ball turnovers that resulted into transition baskets for Michigan.
Well, our old friend Special K, Clark Kellogg, would call him a stat sheet stuffer. He is. And guys like him always make it to the rim and get free throws. And that will also help your team when you're struggling. And he's able to do just about everything that you want. And to your point, his defense in the late sequences here has been huge.
Well, important now, Jayshawn Tate can move along the baseline. He has to ensure that you want to get the ball inbounds, but you don't want to get to a guy in the deep corner, easy to trap and get a turnover.
Bates-Diop quickly fouled by Robinson. 15.5 seconds remaining. And a learning curve for this young Michigan team, too. John Beilein loves his team, told us that today. And who could argue with the great success that man's had? I got to tell you, I've been to a lot of his practices, even going back to his days at West Virginia. If you go to a practice of his midweek before a weekend game, it is unbelievable. He squeezes everything out of every minute that he has with his team.
Can you imagine the playbook he had?
Oh, boy.
And the counters to the counters in the playbook. But here's the thing I understand. Both teams are going to go through the roller coaster during the course of the season. You know? But as long as you play hard, you give yourself a chance to win.
Eli Brooks needs to look for someone quickly. It's Matthews for 3. Not there. Jackson the rebound. And a quick giveaway by Robinson. And the Buckeyes are going to move to 2-0 in Big Ten play.
And how about the change in dynamics for the Buckeyes? You know, Butler, big lead, you lose it. Clemson, big lead, you lose it. Now you're down, and you figure out a way to come back. And with a small margin of error, you maintain the lead, and you extend it a little bit into the game to close it. So at times you start to turn the corner. And this Ohio State team, 2 games back-to-back, trying to figure out ways on the road and at home to win games.
Well, that 11-0 run has now become 13-2 down the stretch. Make it 14-2 after that free throw. Partner, this is a great way to start for us anyway. This is you had with Brian Anderson, you had the game in Wisconsin, and it was tremendous to watch in between the 2 great football games on Fox. This was my first Big Ten game on FS1 this year, and it was a dandy. Enjoyed every bit of it.
Trust me, my friend, we got many more.
The Buckeyes take out the Wolverines in this great rivalry of the Big Ten. 71-62. Your thoughts?
Two teams in transition. Ohio State 2-0 right now. Key road win. Michigan, a tough loss, but not a bad loss. Both learning experiences for both teams. Ohio State can take some things from the first half they could have done better. Michigan definitely going to take some things from the second half that they can improve on.
It was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. A 26-3 bridging run from the first to second half, and a 15-2 to close. The difference for Ohio State. Here in Columbus, for Jim Jackson, this is Tim Brando wishing you a good night, a happy holiday through the month of December.